Israel launched a new unprecedented attack on Monday, targeting what its defense minister called the repressive apparatus of the regime in Tehran. Reports from Iran say strikes have hit police headquarters, the state broadcaster, and the notorious Evin prison in the capital. Separately on Monday morning, Israel's military confirmed it struck access routes to Iran's Fordo nuclear facility after US bombers hit the site over the weekend. The UN's nuclear watchdog says it expects very significant damage at the heavily fortified site. Iran has retaliated with a sustained missile barrage on Israel Monday morning lasting over 40 minutes, causing power outages for around 8,000 people. As the conflict entered its second week, Iran's foreign minister went to Moscow on Monday for talks with Vladimir Putin over what they called common threats and common enemies. Tehran has vowed its response will have everlasting consequences. In contrast, Defense Minister Israel Katz said, for every rocket fired at Israeli home front, the Iranian dictator will be severely punished.
Russian President Vladimir Putin called the US strikes on Iran an act of aggression as he met with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi for talks in Moscow. During Monday's meeting, Putin condemned the strikes by both Israel and the US against Tehran's nuclear facilities.
Спровоцированная абсолютно агрессия против Ирана не имеет под собой никаких оснований и никаких оправданий. У нас с Ираном давние, добрые, надежные отношения. Мы со своей стороны предпринимаем усилия для того, чтобы оказать содействие иранскому народу.
As Araghchi thanked Russia for its support, he added Russia today is on the right side of the story and international law. Meanwhile, Russia continues to carry out its war on Ukraine as Putin faces an international criminal court arrest warrant for alleged war crimes.
Despite the US strikes, Iran might have a big amount of enriched uranium to build a nuclear bomb, an expert at the Bruegel Institute told Euronews.
It's not credible, in my opinion, to assume that the highly enriched uranium was destroyed. And therefore, Iran, for better or worse, remains a nuclear threshold power. Maybe not quite as near as it was 24 hours ago, but nonetheless, a country that could, if the regime decided to go all out to produce a bomb, might very well still be capable of doing so.
The expert said Europe is irrelevant in the conflict because of the divisions between the member states.
A suicide bomber has attacked a packed Greek Orthodox church in Damascus, killing at least 22 people and wounding more than 60 during Sunday Mass. The attack took place at the Mar Elias Church in the Devela district on the outskirts of the capital. Witnesses say an attacker opened fire on the congregation of around 350 people and then detonated an explosive vest when confronted. Images from the scene showed church benches covered in blood and debris.
كان في شي 350 واحد بالكنيسة عم يصلوا قديش العالم يعني ما بعرف أنا اللي شلتهم بإيدي فوق ال 20 واحد هدول الله يرحمنا ويرحمهم.
No group has claimed responsibility, but Syria's interior ministry says its initial investigation points towards the Islamic State group. Syria's information minister condemned the terrorist attack, calling it cowardly and vowing to combat criminal organizations. The bombing is the first of its kind in Syria in years and a challenge to the new government's efforts to stabilize the country and protect minorities. It highlights ongoing concerns about the threat from extremist sleeper cells in the war-torn nation.
After the major US attack on 3 Iranian nuclear sites on Sunday, European and global reactions have been divided. While Israel and some nations applauded US President Donald Trump's move, others have called for immediate de-escalation and a return to the negotiating table. President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, called on all parties to show restraint and respect for international law and nuclear safety. He emphasized that diplomacy is the only way forward to achieve peace and security. The European Union's High Representative Kaja Kallas also called on all actors to return to the negotiating table. She reminded that Iran's ability to develop a nuclear weapon would be a threat to international security. And United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres felt deeply alarmed with the news of the attack. He warned that the conflict in the region could spin out of control. He also called on member states to de-escalate and uphold their obligations under international law. The Russian foreign minister also urged for a return to diplomacy. He strongly condemned the attack and said the US had violated international law. Today, more than ever, humanity cries out and pleads for peace. That is what Pope Leo XIV said. He warned the war amplifies problems and creates deep wounds without providing lasting solutions.
The European Investment Bank reinforces its role as the European Union's financial arm. The bank's financing ceiling for this year reaches €100 billion, a new record. Against a backdrop of geopolitical tensions, the EIB confirms its commitment to defense and security, tripling its financing effort. The EIB plans to devote 3.5% of total financing to the military sector, with 32 flagship projects currently in the pipeline.
We are financing the public sector when we are talking about large military barracks infrastructures. Just this week also we have got the go-ahead for the financing of a very important infrastructure in Lithuania, military barracks that will host a Bundeswehr brigade very close to the Belarusian border. And we're working with the European Commission to identify other key public infrastructures for military mobility. We are also financing large private companies when it comes to research and development programs, when it comes to innovation and also industrial capability.
Climate change and clean energy remain priorities for the EIB, as the bank sees climate action closely linked to European security. Therefore, it is launching a new program of investment in technology and innovation. The first wave of this new €70 billion tool will be dedicated to clean industries.
This has to do with the products to build energy grids. It has to do with guarantees for clean tech innovators. It also has to do with support to the wind industry and also support to the deployment of power purchase agreements, which are key to stabilize energy pricing for large European industries.
The EIB wants to promote the Union's strategic autonomy. To this end, it wants to ensure that European companies and producers remain in Europe.
Polish duo Swara and Nichos are bringing a new beat to traditional Slavic music. Using white singing, a traditional vocal technique from the Podlasia region in eastern Poland, they aim to show that tradition does not have to be left in the past and that it can evolve into the modern day.
Nagraliśmy teledysk na pięknej podlaskiej w ogóle łące, pamiętam o wschodzie słońca. No i potem na tyle nam się to spodobało, że zaczęliśmy dalej eksplorować ten temat, czyli właśnie muzyka z całego świata, którą tutaj właśnie Swada eksploruje i śpiewy podlaskie, takie osadzenie w naszej lokalnej kulturze.
Jak jeszcze byłam taką bardzo małą dziewczynką, to już wtedy uczyłam się śpiewu białego, śpiewu ludowego. Z Niką poznałyśmy się również w ludowym zespole, więc ten rodzaj śpiewu nie jest mi obcy, zawsze bardzo go lubiłam. Jest to piękne niesienie tradycji i kultury.
Ten śpiew tradycyjny w ogóle ma taką magię w sobie, że on jest bardzo mocny i bardzo twardzy, wręcz można powiedzieć, że to jest taki krzyk. On jest bardzo melodyczny i taki plastyczny, że można dużo w nim opowiedzieć. Z drugiej strony czuję, że mogę się zdystansować, jakby śpiewając nie w języku, który jest mój pierwszy, tylko właśnie taki, który jednak nauczyłam się po prostu z biegiem lat.
No na wiosce to właśnie wszyscy u nas, wydaje mi się, mówią w takim języku. W domu, w mieście, w Bielsku to już tak może nie za bardzo, ale na wiosce no to wszystkie babki, a gdzie to, a gdzie ona, a skul, a czyja ty? Dokładnie, jakby tak. Używało się tego i nadal się używa jeszcze.
Jak się okazuje, do basu lubią tańczyć i osoby już takie posunięte w latach, ale też takie, że i swoje dzieci przyprowadzą i te dzieci też hasają.
Swara and Nichos reach for the musical roots of the past and give them a contemporary form. They reflect the very borderlands they come from, geographical, cultural, and generational.
I think the most special thing is that we're actually crossing a border between two countries. The bridge is historical, building these two cities together.
What inspired me for this event was I was actually racing it 25 years ago for the first time. So coming back here is something I look forward to.
Trying to run on a course that's normally completely closed to runners and pedestrians. It's a unique opportunity and that's something you probably only will do once in your lifetime.
For me, it's the tunnel. I remember it's the longest sauna in Denmark, so I look forward to, 3 kilometers of very hot and moist air.
I look forward to the beautiful view on top of the bridge. Feel very small crossing it, so it's going to be an amazing experience.